Hey, welcome back. In most cases, using more tracks doesn't make it a better song. But sometimes it's really fun to use multiple tracks and see what you can do with it. Think of Bohemian Rhapsody. It lives off the fact that there are so many little nuances going on. In this track I went a bit crazy and we used about 150 vocal tracks. And I want to show you how I use them so they don't collide and clash with each other, because they all kind of fill a different purpose, a different role. Let me show you what I mean. Welcome back, musical architects. I think a sign of a good song, of a good production, is when you can play the lead vocal by itself against the bass note and it works. Maybe some rhythmical element depending on the track. But that already should explain the song. Now, why would I need more vocal tracks then? So in this track, I used a ton of vocals, maybe 150 tracks together. And I mixed them down into stems, into sub-vocal stems, because I thought of it like an orchestra. Instead of using synthesizers, guitars, I wanted to have all these different kind of textures in the vocals because it was a very tribal vibe. But to test it, I want to show you what it enhances and you tell me if you feel like it does or does not work. But if I just play my lead vocal against a kick drum, I have a bass, it's like a sub bass and a piano. It should already kind of explain what works. So here's the first verse.
Dark corners always soothe me till they were corners of my mind.
I had 8 doubles on that first verse alone, and I mixed them together so they become very smooth and in the background, and they sound actually more like an ambience, like a reverb. Because one thing I don't want to do is lose that personal connection to the lead vocalist. I want to feel they're still in front of me. I know I'm looking at one singer. The other ones are embellishing, but not the focus. This is the lead actor in our play here.
These dark corners.
But if I add the backings, the doubles,
These dark corners always soothe me.
it's more like an ambience. So they're kind of subtle, but they add width or depth to it. Then I have vocal effects. They are trailing on and they create more like an interesting atmosphere. Some of them are tuned down vocals, lead vocals. Some of them are reversed effects. So very distant, panning around. They create a bit of a backdrop. So let's play this together first.
Corners always soothe me till they were corners of my mind.
I'm going to add my low male vocals, which just create a little distant and a range for the vocal tracks, and they don't bother the lead vocal because they're in a lower frequency range.
Lonely was second nature to me, always searching for something that was life or death to find.
If I turn all these off,
Lonely was second nature to me.
it's enjoyable too. It's just more flavors, a little bit more spices in the ingredients list. And in the pre-chorus, it could definitely work by itself.
Oh, they say, young girl, you are so sweet. Follow me and your life is complete. But there's blood in the water. So
But I liked this little effect that I created just out of vocals by having lower vocals. I think I pitched them down and tuned them and really tuned them hardly. So they sound more like synth sounds. And ran them through effect and reversed them. So they built this little swell into that first chorus.
but there's blood in the water, so hold your breath. Blood in the water, fire at the altar.
Now she clearly can sing this by herself, but to have more impact, I really pushed the doubles here. So it's becoming more like a chant. This sounds.
Blood in the water.
This is quite up there, so I'm adding lower harmonies together. And then my male vocals underneath. And then I'm going into a bit more distant chant. More tension and a rhythmic vocal pattern, which is also a mixture of probably 16 male and female. All together. So I never want to take away from the lead vocal. I want to just build this around the nucleus of this lead vocal, and they are just like an orchestra. You could play it on the piano, an orchestra piece, but here I have all these different colors available. I want to show you the build up, because the verse 2 is just an exaggeration of what we've just seen in the chorus, but in the build I use a couple of different vocals. And so here I have this build up that I mixed together a bunch of vocals and then filtered them in. So they sneak in, and then this chant comes in and takes over. And we have a bit of ethereal lead vocals. And then it builds up and up and up, and then in the end we have all of them together and an ad-lib on top. So it sounds a bit like this. And to pull it all together and keep still a connection to that lead vocalist, I have one ad-lib, which is just singing on top. Just more like ad-lib lines here. Into the last chorus. Thanks for listening. I hope this inspires you to some new experiments with vocals. I'm going to play a little bit of the final track with all the instrumentation, and you can also stream it on any platform. Take care. Till they were corners of my mind.